quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold, The Roots of Ruin, episode 80. I'm your host. I'm Lars Casteen. Welcome to all of the friends of Hoot joining us for another podcast of thrills, spills, and chills.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm joined today by the same people that are on this show every time. Let's say hello to them and see how they're doing. Zoe Chernicoff is here.
Hello.
Hi. Armet Humphreys is here.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. David, the Tin Man Chernicoff, is here.
Good that time, Lars. Pleasure to be back.
Welcome back. And Robin Lange is here.
Hello. Good evening. From a whole new town from Westchester County.
Robin moved.
I moved. I'm no longer a New York City person. I feel sad about it, but also really happy to be in a house now. Still work in New York City, so I'm still in the city every day.
Still get to see it. Still get to go in.
to see it.
Yeah.
And you did it. You made the change. You have moved from one region to another. And you know what? Speaking of regions, guys.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we met up, we talked about dialects. We talked about regional accents. We had a fun time. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. And this time we're going to talk about the New York Times dialect quiz that came out. I said it was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was actually 9 years ago that this thing came out. I put the link in the show notes last week. I'll put the link again in the show notes this week if you want to take this quiz. But basically this quiz is a 25 question thing that is a multiple choice question where you get asked like, what word would you use to describe this? How would you pronounce that, etc. Like we've all taken it or are taking it right now. And I just want to open up the floor for conversation.
I have one thought, which I don't know. It surprised me by the variation involved, I guess, was what do you call the small road parallel to the highway? I've always called that a frontage road, but
Agreed.
Okay, we have a distinction then.
I've never heard that before.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
that's
So you don't have a
fascinating
word
to
for
me.
that?
The small road
No.
parallel, that's an access road.
Whoa, I have never heard access road
No,
before
that's
this
an access
quiz.
road.
I've never heard any of what anybody is saying right now.
It's like I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. It's a road that runs parallel to. Well, they also asked what you call the freeway, highway, throughway.
Right. Yeah,
Those are
I
totally
know
different
it-
things to me. Freeway and highway are two totally different roadways to me.
interesting.
Yeah, same. But anyway, it's like Lars. If you get off of an exit and there is a road that has like a sort of a standard commercial strip set of
mall.
stuff
Yeah.
that runs parallel to the freeway, but isn't the freeway.
I've just never had any need to
Oh, a
describe
commercial
that
strip
idea.
road there?
Well,
that's
it's-
different.
I guess-
Yeah, it's a frontage
road.
road. I mean, it's just like it's the frontage road that goes.
It isn't necessarily a commercial strip. I shouldn't say that, but it connects, but it also is just sitting there. I don't know. how
If
else to
traffic
describe
is
it.
bad,
Access
Google
road,
won't
yeah.
ever tell you to take it, but it can be a better way than taking the freeway.
Yeah.
Yeah, access road.
It's really sad to me that I can't give Lars an example of this that he would understand.
No,
But Lars,
I can imagine. It's just like there are a lot of things in the world that I don't have a name for because I don't think about them and I don't care about
Yeah.
them. And I think
Like-
frontage road, like whatever this is, like okay, so there's like a road near another road. Like who cares? Like,
There was also
it does not engage
what
my
do you-
imagination at all.
another one in there was what do you call the grass between the sidewalk and the road?
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
thought about that in
I
my
don't have
life.
a word for that.
No
That's
idea.
a funny one. Jim Foley growing up, it's the berm. Guys, it's the
The
berm.
berm.
The berm.
Jim Foley is Zoe's father, just for
Yeah.
everyone out there who isn't me.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Zoe, didn't you also mention another time? And I feel like this didn't come up in my quiz today because sometimes not all the questions come up. I feel like they have more than 25 questions that they cycle
definitely.
through.
Yeah.
About what you call it when
Yes, this was the
it
one I was going to
rains,
ask about.
When there's a light rain when it's sunny out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one.
Yeah.
Because I very simply just call it a sun shower. 'Cause
Sure.
It's showering when there's sun.
Me
I'm
too.
torn between I don't have a word for it and sun shower.
It
Interesting.
was a sun shower.
I don't
for
have
me
words for a
growing
lot
up.
of things, it turns out.
I feel like Zoe, you had something that I think surprised me.
The only reason I call it this is because, and this is like an adult thing, not a kid thing. We had very good friends who call it a fox's wedding.
Never heard that in my life.
They
Nor
went so
I.
far
Love
as
that.
these are, this could be a whole side story into itself. They own property. They are farmers with other people, and there are 4 people who share this land, and there's a road going onto it. And this phrase is so important to them, they actually considered naming the road that is the common road through this land Fox's Wedding Lane.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
yeah.
It's a great name for a road, actually.
There's also the very upsetting devil is beating his wife term in there
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah.
Isn't there
There's a
something
bunch
about
of other ones.
pissing? One that's like, no?
There's like
Did I-
a monkey thing also.
the monkey piss. as
Yeah, it's like
people
a
say.
monkey is pissing on
Yeah.
me.
Monkey pissing on the priest.
Normally you
I-
pay extra for that. kind of
So
shit.
I feel like we found a lot of divisive ones. I just want to share my favorite question in this because this is a question that made me realize something about myself. How do you pronounce AUNT?
Ah, this
Should
is
we go,
one where
should we
I
go
just-
round robin on this
Yeah,
one?
let's round robin it. Zoe, what's your answer?
Ant,
Ant. Okay, Armat.
like the bug.
So this one I have trouble with because I will punch the aunt if I really want to like distinguish it from I'm talking about like the insect. But I'll often, when referring to my aunt, I just say aunt, like Aunt V. She's my
Got it.
aunt. Yeah.
2 for Ant. David, what do you say?
I also say ant.
And Robin, what do you say?
So I took the option that was similar to what Armat said, which is I love that they had. This is also like what Dave was saying, where
I think that
they
we're on the same page here.
warmed me. They were ready for me.
Yeah.
When I
sure.
talk about the general concept, it's aunt.
Yes.
Talk to your
Yeah.
aunt.
Yes.
But if I'm talking about a specific person, it's my Aunt Mary.
Same.
Totally.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Strong
Interesting.
same.
I can't say Aunt
Amazing.
Mary. Aunt Mary sounds weird. I'm not Aunt Robin. I'm Aunt Robin. But I am someone's aunt.
I was gonna have a similar reaction. I am the aunt to exactly 2 people. I have no siblings. David has 1 sister. His sister has 2 kids, and we're very close with the whole family. David's sister is married to a lovely guy named Josh. And anytime I'm around Josh and the kids, Josh is like, it's Aunt Zoe. And I'm always like, who is Aunt Zoe? Like, Aunt Zoe to me is like a British lady who's
Right.
giving tea. I don't know. I don't identify as being
Where?
Aunt
Where?
Zoe. Yeah, exactly. But it's like, it's the personal version of what you're saying, Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aunt Zoe is
So.
a character from the Harry Potter novels.
Exactly. Like
Aunt
she's
Zoe came to
her hair's a
tea.
little kooky and there's something hidden in there. And maybe a biscuit. I don't know.
I'm getting major Professor Trelawney vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we could talk about every single one of these questions. We should move on. I just
I'm
want to
sorry,
ask.
can I just bring up the
Yes,
one that I had to
sure.
screenshot?
Yes, please.
Because I didn't know this fucking existed.
Okay, good.
What do you call a drive-through liquor store? I'm sorry, these fucking exist?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
haven't lived in the
Yeah,
South
in
much,
the
have you?
tri-state area, these, or at least in New York and Connecticut. Connecticut, we still have blue laws, to my knowledge. Like, you can't buy beer at a grocery store after 8, and for a long
Yeah.
time, you couldn't even buy it on the Sunday because fucking Puritans.
Right.
Drive-through liquor stores? What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's so confusing to me.
It's both the worst idea and the best.
As Dickens once said.
I had to answer that. I had to, for the purposes of the quiz, I had to answer that. And this is also such a lovely subtlety of this quiz. Many of them have an option that you can say other, or you can say I have no word for this. But in the case of this question, it's not, I have no word for this.
I have never heard of such a thing.
I have never heard of such
Never
a
heard
thing.
of such a thing.
That was me.
Yes, which is so much closer to your reaction when you have never heard of such a thing. You're like, what? It's not just I have no word for this. It's I am truly flabbergasted by what you just told me.
And that's
it's sort
the
of
beauty
it's
of this
almost
country.
as extreme as Lars's reaction to the idea of a frontage road.
Yeah, well, that one I just don't care about. Like, I'm interested in a drive-through liquor store, but just the idea of like, that's like the what's a Friend Street called? It's like, what do you call the fifth blade of grass next to it? Like, it's just who cares? It's so small to me. I'm so much bigger than this concept, is what I'm trying to say.
You
I don't
personally.
have time for your frontage roads.
Yes, you puny mortals and your frontage
Like,
roads.
listen, I go to Pennsylvania. I know what a package store is. I know that if you want to go to a liquor store, you actually need to go to a package store. It's not this like, there are no liquor stores in Pennsylvania. I get that. This baffled me.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. It's baffling. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Listener, take the quiz yourself. Make your family take the quiz. It's the best. It's a great time. The holidays are coming up. Just make everybody sit around a table and yell at each other about,
whatever Yin's guys are
How
upset
to pronounce
about.
aunt.
Yeah, like whether you call it a water fountain or a drinking fountain. You're going to have a
Bubbler.
blast. All right, let's move on. Before we get to playing our game, I want to thank everybody who has taken the time to leave a review of Tabletop Gold at their favorite podcast app. Like, for instance, the Lone Cats on Apple Podcasts, who said audio quality and banter are great. The story is compelling. I'm glad that you have been compelled, and I'm glad that you've been compelled to leave a review, because that is deeply helpful for us. And
Thank you.
It's always awesome to read nice things that people say, and it's always awesome when people take that step to help us spread the word about our show over here.
Lovely. Thank you.
Lovely.
Super huge. Thank you.
One last thing. We're going to promote some stuff because we're breaking off a 5 today. Here's what's going on lately. 1, our Discord. Find the link at our website, www.tabletopgold.com. Go there, hang out, talk to people about games, movies, music, TV shows, sports, books, everything else under the sun. Us. You can submit hero point cards there. Do the whole thing. We're on Twitch. You can find the link at the same place. We're playing lots of tabletop game adjacent video games. We've been playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. We've been playing Vampire the Masquerade - Bloodlines. And we've been playing the new Pokemon game. We have a community of people playing Pokemon, trading, battling, doing the whole thing. It's a great time. Our YouTube channel, you can find all of the episodes of our podcast, and you can find archives of our Twitch streams, and you can find some of the music that I've composed for the show at my Bandcamp, which is larscasteen.bandcamp.com. You can use some of the music for your own home game if you want to. Why not? Have fun. Let's get into it, shall we? Robin just put a note in our Zoom chat relating to another question that I desperately want to talk about, but we simply do not have time.
I know.
It's just an endless well of the dialect. Oh, okay.
I feel like we could do a whole episode on just this dialect quiz. Like, no joke.
I took it a second time while we were talking about it and got a different answer.
Did you get? I did too. I got different cities this time. Two of them were the same,
Coasts.
but then there was
I
a
got
different
different coasts.
Yeah.
Lars, I think this week we just shouldn't play.
All dialect all the time.
You're saying that because you're in a bad situation and you're not going to get out of it that easily. Damn it. You've been exploring the Abomination Vault's 5th level, piecing together clues about its recent history and its more distant past. For current events, you've uncovered a supply room recently repurposed to hold materials for biological experiments, and you've encountered creatures covered with recent scars. And for ancient history, you've spotted centuries-old gouge marks on the walls and doors and discovered a pair of pit traps long ago used to drop creatures to their watery deaths. Your current room is quiet enough for a pair of aberrant creatures disguised as common objects to hide in wait for unwitting prey. In this moment, that's Mag. When she reached out to grab an intriguing-looking hatchet on a weapon rack, an adhesive material coating it held her hand in place, and a pair of eyes and a gaping mouth opened up on the rack, to call for another disguised creature to join in on the feeding frenzy. David.
What?
Mag has just been... What? What the hell do you want? Mag has just reached out to this weapon rack that revealed itself to be this creature. Because it was hiding and disguising itself when you touched it, this adhesive, Mag's hand will not come away from this thing. It automatically grabs you, and it reaches out and slams you on the side of your head with a tendril as these two creatures are yelling back and forth at each other like, well, what's that thing taste like? And the other one's like, well, hold on a second. And they bonk Mag with a pseudopod. That is a 26 to hit.
A 26 will hit Mag as she is just so startled by this. She is not only figuratively, but literally blindsided.
Absolutely. So you get bonked for 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
It's a big bonk.
Lars, do I
Yes.
have a reaction?
Absolutely not. Come on, man.
Boo.
You are both cruel and unsparing, friend.
Can
That's
Vadim
right.
glimpse these things coming into existence?
But also, yeah, that makes sense.
Here's the deal, and I think this might answer a couple questions that you might have here.
Sure.
So in terms mechanically, what has just happened is you have become grabbed, okay?
Huh.
So you have one hand on your maul, and the other hand is on this creature disguised as a weapon rack. So because you're grabbed, this game doesn't have like a mechanic for your hand is grabbed, your foot is grabbed, blah, 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 blah. It's all like a little more abstracted than that. So
Sure.
because you're grabbed, you're flat-footed and you're immobilized, but you can maneuver your hand to grab your maul two-handed to let you strike with it. It's just that the grabbed condition imposes on you a flat check you have to take to do anything with a manipulate trait. So grabbing a weapon is a manipulate, so you have to beat a DC 5, and that, simulates the idea of this adhesive is all over you and you're trying to like rip it apart to grab a hold of your maul.
Makes sense. I might have some questions about what other things Mag might be up to that might or might not have the manipulate trait, but we can
Totally. And we'll figure it
cross
out
that
as we
bridge
go.
when we
No
come to it.
problem.
Yeah.
So with that little surprise out of the way, let's do it. Let's roll for initiative. Yeah. Roll for initiative. All right.
Not great.
Not great. What did everybody roll for initiative, starting with Zoe?
I think this axe hatchet situation has startled the bejesus out of AO, so that's a 12.
I think that's the lowest initiative that you've had in like 60,
Certainly a while.
70 episodes. In
Yeah,
quite a
not great.
while. Okay, Ao, doomed, caught totally off guard by this. How did Vadim do, Armad?
He also did not do that great. He got a 16 because I think he too is just like totally befuddled and caught off guard and by these mimics.
Who said they were mimics? I said it last week, but technically,
you did,
Vadim.
yeah,
I don't. We'll have to do a recall. Okay, very good. So Vadim also caught off guard.
Yeah, by these mysterious creatures that he has no knowledge of what they
Right.
could possibly be.
Maybe they're iconic Dungeons and Dragons monsters. Maybe they're not. Who's to say? Who is to say? David, how did Mag do from having been bonked?
Yes. Well, after I think that taking those 12 points of bonking damage woke her up. Decent roll. It's a 22 for Mag.
Robin, how did Trill do on your thing?
Hey, Lars,
Yes, what's up?
can I get some new dice?
Yes.
I feel like every time I've been rolling recently, I keep for initiative, I keep rolling 3s. And I don't think it's fair.
Yeah, I think you should stop rolling 3s.
Yeah, I think it's rigged. I think you've done something to Foundry.
But from
And
my
I don't like it.
perspective, you've rigged it.
Why would I rig it to get 3s?
Why would I rig it? Oh, I see why. There's actually a pretty good reason why.
Yeah, no, it works. It makes
You see,
more
from
sense
my
for you.
perspective, the Jedi are the.
Right.
So Trill ended up with a 15.
Here's the moral of the story. These two disguised creatures are going first, and everybody else is going next. Yes, Aesop wrote about it.
Yes, the classic mimic and the dunce.
Yes. Oh no.
Wait, who's the dunce here?
All of us?
Yep, that's right.
Except for the mimics, maybe?
Hey, everyone, it is episode 80. We've got all new hero point cards. We've got all new hero points. Everyone is reset to 1 awesome hero
That's
point.
good. Yay.
Boo.
We are in this medium-sized, sort of squarish room with 2 pits with ladders extending down on the eastern side of the room. The northeastern corner of the room has this former weapon rack with mag uncomfortably adhesived to it, and a door on the northern wall of this room has just flown off the hinges, opened up a big smile, and started advancing towards Vadim. Here we go. The creature hanging on to Mag just starts flailing around wildly, saying, "Come on, let me eat you, let me eat you." And here comes a pseudopod strike to Mag. That is a 1 on the die.
Thank God.
Because you fumbled hard.
But you see, from my point of view, it's very good.
Right,
Nice.
that's the problem with this. This is an unarmed strike. Until healed, you take a -2 circumstance penalty to attack rolls made with this attack. This is a stinging failure. So this creature is so happy to eat Mag that it sort of snaps something in its body and goes, "Ow, ow!" And the one that was a door shouts out, "Wait, what's going on? I can't see you yet. What's happening? What's going on?" As that happens, this creature starts banging into Mag twice more. This has got a -2 on it.
I like that they're from Arizona? Utah? I can't figure this accent.
In my head, they're Heckle and Jekyll, even though I have no idea what Heckle and Jekyll sound like.
Statler and Waldorf.
So I just rolled a 22 against Mag, who is flat-footed.
Yep, that will just hit.
Okay, that's 11 points of bludgeoning damage. So from everybody else, you just see this frenzy as Mag is suddenly reaching towards this thing, and it's just like, ah! And then just this thing is just banging into her over and over again, just flailing wildly, trying to pull her into its mouth. This strike is going to have a -2 also. That is an 11 to hit.
That is just avoids a critical failure.
And as Mag manages to not get hit by that 1, this creature that was a door on the further end of the room lurches forwards towards Vadim.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to visualize this. So it's like the door itself is lurching forward.
Yeah, the door is sort of wiggling forward with this big mouth, just going, "Ah, ah, ah."
Mr. Door?
Mr.
Shouts?
Door.
Mr. Door! Mr. Door has finally joined the battle.
It's like Beauty and the Beast if it was really twisted and amazing.
This door is waddling forwards towards Vadim, going, "Oh, he looks delicious too!" And all these tendrils are whipping around on the outside of the door as it collapses onto Vadim and attempts to strike him. First off, here's a pseudopod strike, a 26 to hit Vadim.
That will definitely hit him.
Vadim, first off, is going to take some damage. This is bludgeoning damage. Amazingly good
roll.
attack roll. 19 damage coming Vadim's way. A 7 and an 8 on the die. And Vadim needs to make this reflex save as this adhesive starts dripping all over him.
Oh, God, it's disgusting. Ooh, and that is a 29 on my save.
So Vadim manages to duck and dodge out of the way, not becoming grabbed
Very nice.
by this
Yeah,
creature.
I think he drops his weight and does a little leap step back to get out of the way.
And as he does that leap step, another tendril whooshes out towards him with a 16 to hit.
And that will not hit. Thanks Heaven he was leaping.
Good move for Vadim. Vadim manages to pirouette and dance all around this creature, not getting hit by it, or not getting grabbed by it anyway. And then it is Mag's turn. Mag, face to face with this gnashing mouth bearing down on her on this weapon rack.
A lot of mouths. It almost feels intentional.
I'm so glad you said it. It was like in the first thing of Lars's description of this thing was, and it has a giant mouth and it's going to try to eat you. Everything's always trying to eat Mag.
Lars, I think Lars has
Everything
a very
gets a bite attack.
Lars seems to have some obsession with mouths.
Yeah,
Very-
I'm a mouth guy. What do
Yeah.
you want? What are you trying to shame me that I'm into mouth stuff? I love mouth stuff. Okay, get off my back.
I'm just learning a lot about you, Lars.
Yeah. Hey,
Learning a lot
guess
about
what,
you.
America? Guess what, the world? Mouths. I love them. I love a mouth.
The very uncommon sexual practice of mouth stuff.
Yeah. I guess I'm just crazy.
Deviant.
Fairly
I'm a monster.
ubiquitous.
Very few people are into it, but it's out there if you look. All right.
Okay, here's something I want to let you know about this adhesive. If you'd like to, you can attempt to break yourself free from it using a typical escape, right? Like you can use athletics, acrobatics, or do an unarmed attack roll to try to get out of this grab, just like anything else.
Yeah, I'm glad that that's in there because I was going to propose that it be in there if it wasn't already. All right, so lots of choices before Mag about sort of clever ways to respond to this situation. And she will do none of them. Instead, she will rage because this is absolutely outrageous. It's sudden. It's shocking.
Rage-ist.
That's right. So as this thing is wailing all of its appendages around, Mag would say something like ah. All right,
Sounds about right.
Got it.
The rage
Thank-
glasses are on.
Cool. So next question is mechanical, Lars.
Sure.
Is drawing a new weapon a manipulate action?
Absolutely,
or-
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just want to mention,
Yeah, go ahead.
releasing an item is a manipulate action as well. So
It
you
is,
could,
so dropping
you
it-
could screw that up. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right. So Mag is going to grab the maul with the hand that is stuck. She's going to try to rip it off and back in place on the handle of her maul so that she can make a strike.
Great. Give me that DC 5 flat check.
And that is a 16 to break free.
No problem. Mag manages to rip some of this adhesive as this creature goes, ah! And Mag is now standing, grabbed onto this thing, whipping its tendrils around with both hands on her maul.
So let's bash. Let's bonk back, baby.
Let's bonk it.
Bonk back better. And that is not such a great bonk. That's only a 19 to bonk.
Bunk back mediocre.
You missed the attack by 1.
Yeah, see, that's why
Why would you
you
say
love
it that
for
way?
to delay until Trill goes. Okay. That was worth a shot. All right. So Mag sort of cleverly and with a good deal of brute force manages to actually torque the maul in the right direction and just catches the corner of this room before she can bring it down on the mimic itself, causing a massive resounding clang throughout the room. And as she misses, she says,
And as Mag's scream reverberates on the room, it is Vadim's turn, standing face to face with a door with aberrant tendrils whipping around. Like, here's what I'm imagining. It's John Carpenter's The Thing is what I'm imagining these creatures are like.
Love it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like Willow Smith.
Oh,
Yes.
Sure.
I whip my pseudopods back and forth. Incidentally, I totally would have been into that song if it had been I whip my pseudopods back and forth.
I think a lot of people would have been less into it. I'm not sure it would have been quite the hit that it
I
was.
didn't think that was necessarily they did a good job with that song.
It
is
did
what I'm
pretty
trying to
well as
say.
written.
Yeah. So I don't think Vadim has his weapons drawn because we were kind of looting and going through this room where we weren't really coming into any contact with monsters. So I'm going to say he has to draw his weapons this combat.
All right, man. If you say so, like
I know you were going to let
that's not
me.
the call I would have made, but sure, if that's how you feel about it, that's fine.
I sort of do. I think it's
I love it.
just like we're off guard. You know, everything about the story is telling us with our roles that like we've been totally outfoxed by these mimics or
Yes.
whatever
You take
the
that
case
back.
may be. Sorry, AO.
Deeply offensive.
So yeah, Vadim for his first action is going to draw Vigilance. I think for his second action, he'll draw the Dagger of Venom, and third action, he'll make an attack with just Vigilance. That is a 23 to hit.
That 23 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
So yeah, with a quick snicker snack, Vigilance slices out and bites quickly into the wood of the door's front, like just scoring a little line above the below the lintel.
And as Vadim lands this amazing hit and whooshes around looking beautiful, he looks down at his hand, sees that it's empty, looks at the door, sees that Vigilance is stuck on the door via the adhesive.
Oh, Pharasmus, bloody bones! I love this.
Wait, so vigilance connected and immediately got stuck to it?
Yes.
So it's a sticky mimic.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I also need Armat to make a reflex save after hitting this creature.
I hate this creature so much. It's
They're the
awesome.
worst. They're absolutely
They're
the worst.
so bad. 27.
So you managed to not get grabbed by this creature when you hit it.
Yeah, again, he's like dodging and bobbing and weaving, even as he's discovering that his beautiful sword has vanished.
His beautiful sword is positioned like a mustache above this door's mouth.
I love it. It's like a lopsided handlebar
Monsieur
kind of
Door.
vibe.
It is
Well.
Trill's turn. Robin, what are you
Okay.
going to do?
So, Trill, obviously, the first thing she's going to do is the thing that she would have done in the beginning if she had gotten a better bloody roll. And so she needs Vigilance sticking on like a mustache?
That's right.
A beautiful
Oh, we're gonna-
mustache.
A beautiful Eldori dueling mustache.
a beautifully well-crafted mustache, and oh man, we're gonna need to get some work done here.
It is
And-
rather dapper.
Trill is going to obviously start with some lingering composition into her Inspire Courage. That is, a failure. Only a 16.
All right, so you don't spend this focus point, and everybody gets one round of Inspired Courage.
Yeah, so the one that's holding Mag, Trill's pretty mad at it. She doesn't like seeing Mag's hand being chewed on. So Trill's going to cast Phantom Pain on that one. And it would be 6 damage. So not a ton.
Okay, here comes a will save. Not a great save. I just failed, nearly critically failed with a 12.
Man, if that had been a crit fail, that would have been so good. But so with that failure, the target takes full initial and persistent damage. And the target is sickened 1.
So
Hey,
the
wow.
persistent damage that I take, so they take
Nice
2d4
spell.
mental damage, 1d4 persistent mental damage, and they're sickened as they scream out like, "Ah, this one's doing something!"
That's right.
And the door yells out, "Then just eat her!"
I'm too far away. Keep going, guys.
And as these two creatures scream back and forth at each other, it is now Ao's turn.
So I think, unlike Vadim, I'm not sure Ao walks through this dungeon without chompers at the ready because she's deeply suspicious of everyone and everything. I think she's been casting about a little lost, but she fires an arrow at the mimic on the right that's going after Mag, and then I think turns and fires an arrow at the mimic on the left that's going after Vadim. Like what? Like 1, 2.
Come on, chompers.
And that is a 34 against the mimic that's got Mag.
Chomp, baby, chomp.
And then a 13 against the mimic that's got Vadim.
Chomp and anti-chomp.
Yeah.
So the arrow that hits the weapon rack holding on to Mag hits them in a tooth and knocks it out, and they go, "Ah!" as it's a critical strike. Go ahead and roll critical damage as you also immobilize them and pin them to the wall behind them.
And that is 28 damage. And you can bet Ao has her eye on that tooth that fell out.
Oh.
28 points of damage as you take a massive chunk off of the weapon rack, and it starts twisting around like it is in deep pain. I think Ao has one more action.
She does. She pulls out a scroll for her last action.
Okay, Ao grabbing a scroll takes us to the beginning of round 2. Here's the situation. Northeastern corner of the room, this weapon rack with a mouth and tendrils is grabbing a hold onto Mag as it has been pinned to the wall, screaming in pain as its mind is alight with destructive occult magic. A short distance away, Vadim is fighting against a door that has his beautiful Aldori dueling sword festooned upon it like a grotesque mustache. Trill and Ao a few steps away, ready to provide ranged support. It is now the turn of the creature holding on to Mag. They just want to eat Mag. They want to kill her and eat her. So it's just pseudopod strike, pseudopod strike, pseudopod strike, one after the other.
A fumble card because you fumbled hard.
Second fumble in as many turns. Whirlwind of shame. I hit the creature.
Oh, I thought you were describing your emotional state.
Oh, me
Yes,
too.
That's
I didn't
right.
realize that was the card.
That's the card.
Me too.
This is written in broken English. It says, you hit the creature adjacent to your except for the target. I'm guessing that means that I hit somebody other than you. There's nobody else adjacent to this creature, so we're going to say that does nothing. Here comes a second pseudopod strike against Mag. This one with a -2 is a 23 to hit Mag's flat-footed armor class.
Wow, gracious. That'll hit. Yeah.
That is 13 more points of damage as these tendrils whip out one after the other, slamming into Mag over and over and over again. The next one, a 19 on the die with a -10 to the attack, -2 more from that previous crit card. That is a 21 to hit one more time. So Mag is going to catch more bludgeoning. 17 more points of bludgeoning damage to Mag.
Sorry, was it bludgeoning or bonking this time?
Bonking. You got bonked for a total this turn of 30 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, so that was even with the double map penalty, it's still got me. These things are beefy.
Even with the double map and the -2 from that dumb crit card a round ago.
And immobilized?
Well, immobilized doesn't affect its attack at all. It just can't go anywhere. If anything, it's only more committed to hitting Mag now that it can't
That's
go
right.
anywhere.
Matt, maybe
Stuck there.
glimpse one of these?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Now that I have a reaction, let's glimpse
Hero
the-
point for David.
Yeah, please. Well, I feel like I should get a hero point card removed. Or
Ballast point card.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to say you have to, if you're going to glimpse, you have to glimpse that last one. I'm not going to let you glimpse the first one.
Yeah, totally good. Glimpse, please.
Okay, so that goes down to 10 points of damage instead of 17, and this creature yells out, "Harassment! Fuck off!" and become enfeebled too.
It's a shame
did
that
you
can't be the
say?
episode title, because it should be.
I'm imagining that as the thing is like whipping all of its appendages back and forth against Mag, and sort of like whoosh, 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 her head is whipping back and forth, and each time she's like, "Vadim, could I get a glimpse?"
I'm not catching that, Mag. You're gonna have to. Oh, jeez. Because he's also busy with
Right,
stuff.
right,
Yeah.
sure.
At the end of its turn, this creature takes full mental damage from Trill's ongoing phantom pain as they yell out, "Something's hurting me!" And the door next to Vadim yells out, "Just shut up and swallow her!" And now that door is going to whip out at Vadim at least once, perhaps twice, perhaps 3 times. Let's see what happens. That's a 19 on the die. That's a critical hit.
Ow.
So let's roll some critical bludgeoning damage. 26 points of damage as this catches Vadim in his side and knocks the wind out of him. And at this point, I need Vadim to make this reflex save. to try to avoid getting stapled by the adhesive.
And that is a 1 on the die for a critical
Yikes.
failure.
So Vadim is finally wrapped, a pseudopod wraps around his legs and starts holding him in place. And this creature just starts laughing, and another pseudopod blast comes out. 14 on the die, a 23.
Yeah, that's going to hit. Oof.
Vadim gets bludgeoned for maximum damage, 20 more points of damage.
Oh my gosh.
And then I just rolled a 3 on the die for a 7 to hit. Does that hit your flat-footed?
The 7, that he will be comfortable evading, I think.
Okay.
Jeez,
Mag,
Louise.
turning to her
I'll tell
left,
ya.
straining her neck to see what's going on with Vadim as this creature holds her in place with these adhesive-covered tendrils, sees Vadim get grabbed. What will Mag do as she contends with this frantic, carnivorous weapon rack?
I would like to put in a word for the idea that this thing being pinned by the critical arrow strike from Chompers would make it easier for Mag to break away from being grabbed.
And I'm going to say no to you because it's an adhesive holding you in place. Like, you're trying to rip this adhesive off of you. Like,
So it's less of a like distance leverage thing and more of a just...
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
All right.
just not how the rules work.
I'll take a hero point for creativity.
All right. I'll give you a ballast point for that.
Okay. All
Where's
right.
the song?
1.2 million and 1 ballast points.
Heidi, 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 ho, Heidi,
I
Heidi,
swear
Heidi, ho.
it's Minnie the Moocher is the ballast point song. All right, David, what's up?
Mag has noted that everything that touches this thing sticks to it.
Yeah.
You're rubber. It's glue.
Right, which would typically suggest that one would want to get away from it and hit it with ranged attacks. But that's not really Mag's thing. I think she will start by trying to demoralize it. Let's see, what would she do? So it's still stuck to her, but now it's pinioned to the wall. So she lunges forward and she tries to kind of get an elbow against the arrow that's going through it and lean forward and scream in its face. And that is a 15. That was a 3 on the die for a 15.
So Mag just starts screaming at this weapon rack with a face, and the weapon rack just goes, ah! Back, and it's just the two of you are just screaming back and forth at each other.
Every time I try to demoralize, I have her just scream, and it never works. Maybe she needs to like have some catchphrases or something.
That's right.
All right,
Zippy,
so
zippy, zoo?
yeah. She begins seductively singing "Zooby Zooby Zoo" like Jessica Paré in Mad Men. All right, so she's gonna bash now. And the bash that's an 18 on the die for a 33.
That's a critical hit. The maul
Better.
slams
That's better.
through the weapon rack and starts bashing the wood apart as this creature screams out.
Mag briefly stops screaming as they're screaming at one another and cocks her head to the side slightly like a bird, and then just uppercut bashes the hell out of this thing with her two-handed maul. And that is 32 damage. And if it survives, it is knocked prone by the critical specialization effect from Mag's maul.
Oh, and also your crushing rune that you purchased, a mail order from Absalom.
Ooh.
An uncommon rune that Mag has gotten attached means that this creature is now clumsy and also enfeebled until the end of Mag's next turn.
Excellent.
So that's a nightmare for this creature as it starts shouting out like, "What are you doing? I gotta get back up!" So basically, this creature falls prone. Mag doesn't fall prone with it, but she is bent forward, and she realizes that her maul is stuck to the weapon rack. Fittingly.
So does that, if her maul is stuck to the weapon rack, is she still holding it?
I'm going to say that you still have two hands on it, but you can't use it. So if you want to, you can make an athletics check to rip the maul away, and if you succeed at that, you'll still be holding it two-handed.
I want to do more damage to it. I don't have a hand free to punch it. Can I?
I mean, if you let go, which you'll have to pass a flat check to do. If you let go, you could just let go and then just start beating it with your
All right.
fists.
Yeah, that's what she'll do. As she knows the thing is going to get stuck and she's ready to let it go.
So let's get that flat check to see if you can let go of it.
Yeah, she will attempt to let go of it. And that is a 13.
Okay, yes. Mag manages to leave this maul coated with goo stuck to the weapon rack.
And so she's going to try to finish it off with an unarmed attack, which is going to be a 28 to hit.
And that 28 is a critical hit because Mag knocked it prone.
Nice.
Delightful. So here is unarmed critical damage. That is 18 damage. You know what? I'm going to say that she headbutts it.
Okay, so
Hell
Mag,
yeah.
bam, headbutts this thing, and it collapses. Its tendrils whipping for a second, and then the tendrils stop whipping as it collapses.
Oh.
Wait, hold on a second. This does non-lethal damage, so it gets knocked out.
Okay.
Oh, good. We can take it back to Otari.
Is Mag's head stuck to it?
Mag's Mag's head is stuck to it, but Mag is essentially able to move freely, just dragging this thing around with her, like she's been tarred and then feathered with a weapon rack.
All right, so she stands up to her full height with this thing now stuck to her head and her hand and dripping and drooping semi-lifelessly off of her, and she looks at its little buddy over to the left, and she
Oh, my
says,
Desna! What's that?
"Who's next?"
And as Mag turns and menaces this creature, it shouts out, "Mindy, no!"
Mindy.
And it's now Vadim's turn. Vadim is grabbed and has like 8 hit points. Very close to unconsciousness. The world is swimming in front of his eyes, and Vigilance is stuck to a door. What is he going to do?
So I think the first thing he's going to do is utter a quick prayer to Pharasma. Pharasma, guide your humble servant in this time of his need. And he will use a lay on hands on himself to try and get... Is that a manipulate? Do I need to...
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I fucking love it.
Makes sense.
Oh my god, this is... Well, guys, this may be how you get a new character.
This is it.
That's a fucking 3 on the die.
Oh, no.
Holy shit.
So the spell misfires, and you get no healing, and you use your focus point.
Oh my god, this is the worst. I love it. Okay. Next up,
Vadim's hand is just stuck to this door.
so Vadim is going to try and just sort of rip his hand free. And so, Lars, my options to escape are acrobatics, unarmed attack roll, and athletics roll?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And it counts as an attack.
I am going to go, I think, with the unarmed attack roll. Let's see how we do here. That's a fucking 3 on the die.
What are all threes?
way.
I told Lars we need new dice.
And I told
Yeah.
you, I rigged this with my own goals in mind, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something you have to deal with. Vadim struggles to escape from this door, and the door opens and closes repeatedly and keeps him in place, confusing him, making him look stupid.
This is the worst. Oh, God. He's going to try one more time to escape, I think. I don't know what else I could do at this point, actually. All right, map 4, here we go. 25.
25. Vadim struggles once more against the door and manages to break free. So he is now no longer grabbed.
Whew. Although I'm still right next to it.
He's
So,
still right next to it.
well, that's my 3 actions. This is
That's your
Kinda
3
scary.
actions.
Wow.
Dang.
Let's see what happens. It is
Let's take
Trill's
care of this thing.
turn.
Okay, so Trill thought she had a plan, and then she saw the shit show that was Vadim's action, and without skipping a beat, then she immediately goes to a more calming chord on her lute and casts Soothe at level 3 on Vadim.
Thank you, Trill.
Because, we do like him. That was 35 points of healing.
Oh, that'll help.
Amazing.
It's a pretty good amount, actually.
That is
So
huge.
so that's 35 points of healing for Vadim.
And a +2 status bonus to saves against mental effects, which
Oh.
doesn't matter. That's not what these guys do.
Feels nice.
Not on this one, but at least Vadim's not going to die on us, hopefully, this
Yeah,
time.
he's back in the game now.
And as a final...
I'll give you a hero point to Trill for that also.
thank you. And as a final, how dare you, final Stephanie Tanner move, Trill looks at the door, Mr. Door, who has betrayed us, and
Yeah,
is going
that's right.
and plays some terrifying chords towards it to use her versatile performance to demoralize this door.
A performance check to demoralize. Let's see how it goes.
And that's a 32.
32 is a critical success as this creature that Vadim just escaped from hears this music and just starts going, "Oh no, Mindy, they're taking you from me! No, no!"
That's right. How dare you, you son of a bitch.
And they're frightened too.
Wow.
Trill's mad.
Critical success.
Hell yeah.
Though she be small, she be mighty.
She sure do. Ao sees this door with tendrils whipping around it, screaming in abject terror. What is she going to do?
So let's have a little fun, shall we? I think just for a touch of flavor, it was like, that's fucking right, Trill. When we swear, we fucking win. And then
That's right.
she uses the scroll in her hand, which is a scroll of deja vu
Okay.
that she is going to cast at this remaining door. Because if we're having a
interesting
comedy
spell.
of errors, why not do it? So, deja vu for anyone not paying attention, it has to make a will save. If it fails, whatever action it uses on its next turn, it must repeat on the following turn, using the same order and as close to the same specifics as possible. Blah, 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 blah.
All right, so this creature tries to make a will save to not be deja vu-ded. And it rolls a 24.
Drat. It had a 21, so deja vu has gone nowhere.
So it manages to shake and not be affected by this spell. But if it's any consolation, Zoe, it is going to attack Vadim repeatedly until it dies, until he dies, no matter what. So
Well, so my next move was going to be to reach up and try and yank him back, so it at least had like a wasted move of coming after him that it would then have to potentially repeat moving it away from him. But,
sure. Oh, I see.
know,
That makes
right,
sense.
right.
Yeah,
best
I got
laid
it.
plans.
That's fun.
All right, well, she's going to fire an arrow at it. Maybe this is all the deja vu you needed, fucker. And that's a 27 to hit.
And that is almost a critical hit. And I should mention that Trill's Inspire Courage has faded on her turn.
9 points of damage.
Okay, so Ao blasts into this creature that looks like a door and knocks a big chunk off as it goes, "Ah!" And here we are. It's the beginning of round 3. One of these mimics, I'm just going to let you know they're mimics. One of these mimics has fallen and is now adhesive to Mag's upper back and head. Vadim is squared off against the one that looks like a door in the middle of the room, and the 4 of you are converging upon it to take care of some business. Before you can do that, though, this creature, terrified of Trill's song, is just going to keep hitting Vadim over and over again. That is a 19 to hit.
That is a miss.
Yes.
Another tendril whips out. That is a 11 to hit.
Yes.
Also a miss.
And then finally a 10 to hit as it just screams, "Let me!
Yeah.
Let me eat you! Let me eat you! I want to eat you!"
With Trill's
Oh, starve.
magical restoration, Vadim is back, like, into his nimble dodges, just easily stepping out of the range of these strikes.
Buff, buff, buff.
At the end of its turn, it fades from frightened 2 to frightened 1, and it is now Mag's turn.
Rules question. Can Mag use the maul that is stuck to the thing that's stuck to her now that it is no longer conscious?
Yeah, but it says here on the stat block for this creature that the adhesive dissolves a minute after the mimic dies, so you're still going to need to use an athletics check to yank it off of the creature.
So that'll cost an action.
It'll cost an action, and you might fail.
All right, Mag, with it stuck to her head and hand and with her weapon still stuck to it, reaches back and draws the warhammer from off of her back. Which I would guess, Lars, I can do without needing to fight back against this thing,
Once
right?
this creature passed out, I'm going to say that you're no longer grabbed by it. It's kind of grabbed by you now as it's just stuck to you. So
Yeah.
that's fine with me.
The grabber becomes the grabby.
That's right.
Yeah, so Mag's just working through her weapons one at a time. So she will grab the warhammer from the back. So that's one action. And there's no way to run back to flank.
Not unless you want to try to tumble through with acrobatics.
Acrobatics are not as much Mag's thing
Yeah.
as bashing and unsuccessfully screaming. So Mag will move to the opposite side of this creature just to put herself between it and Trill.
Aw.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
No prob. And then she will use her third action to make a strike with the warhammer. And that is a mighty 3 on the die. For
Another!
A
So many
rip-roaring
3s!
17.
That misses. Even though this creature is frightened, it manages to avoid your strike.
Y'all, should I hero point it? I just got an extra one. Is it worth it?
What's the worst that could happen? Vadim dies?
He's okay now.
I don't know if that's an argument for or against using it.
I don't either, to be honest. Armat's like, oh my god, no, stop using resources.
Just let me go.
Let me roll the stomp here. I'm so excited.
I'm going to let it lie. Boo.
And as Mag swings heartily and misses with this warhammer, it is now Vadim's turn. Vadim, again, holding on to the dagger of venom, but the Eldori Dueling Sword Vigilance still stuck to this door that is crying and whipping its tendrils around with murderous intent.
Cool. So I think Vadim is going to step to the other side of the door. So he's flanking it with Mag. And he is just going to lay into it and see if he can do some damage on it. That is a 18 on the die for a 32.
That's
32 is a critical hit as you find a weak part of this creature and dig into it, poking another tooth out perhaps. Go ahead and roll critical damage.
All right. Let's see how we do. 18 damage.
18 damage, and as you cut into it, I need you to make a reflex save.
Oh, God. That's a 1 on the die for a critical
So
failure.
Vadim gets wrapped up in these adhesive-covered tendrils, and the dagger is now stuck to the door.
Since I did hit, I'd like to use the Dagger of Venom's once per day ability and try and poison it with the Dagger of Venom. So it needs to make a Fortitude DC 21 save.
I like the 42 better. Can we stick with that?
Yeah, honestly.
Needs to make a 42 save.
Vadim starts injecting poison into this creature, and it tries to make a fortitude save and rolls a 20 on the die, a 30.
Of course it does. Yeah.
And is unaffected by this poison. But it does yell out, "Oh, that tastes terrible!" And Vadim, losing the dagger, getting wrapped up. That's it for his turn. Am I right?
Yeah, that's it.
And it is now Trill's time to shine.
Okay. Think we're going to start with Inspire Courage. Not even going to try and spend that focus point. Just do very simple Inspire Courage.
Very good.
And let's go do that electric arc. Let's get some electricity in here, babies. Come on, my babies. Come on, my babies. Let's get some electricity in here. And Trill plays some electric rock. She plugs in.
Judas.
And how much damage am I looking at?
14 points of damage.
Nice.
14 points of damage. It tries to dodge out of the way. Rolls a 26 on the save.
That's okay at rolling, dodging out of the way.
So that if they take half damage as they get caught by a little bit of that electricity, and it is now Ao's turn.
I'm honestly kind of souring on this thing.
I hear you.
Like I don't know.
I'm over it.
What's it done for us?
What have you done for me lately, Mr. Door?
Mr. Door and Mindy.
Newlyweds.
Ao wants to try and gain some sort of little advantage on Mr. Door here. Mindy, are you going to be sick? She says, trying to distract Mr. Door.
Creating a diversion, it sounds like.
A diversion, that's right. For a 19.
Well, I've got good news for you. Because it is frightened,
Oh.
that succeeds. It whips around and says, "Wait, what's going on with Mindy?"
She's gonna vomit all over your face.
Meaning that Ao is now hidden from the door.
And so she fires off 2 quick arrows at it. That's a 23 for the first one.
Okay, that hits.
And a 22 for the second one.
And that also hits.
All right. That's a total of 29 damage between the 2 hits.
As soon as Ao hits them with that first arrow, she's not going to be hidden any longer. So it's actually only going to be 25 points of damage, but still pretty incredible for 2 quick strikes from Chompers.
She connects with its eyes and she just goes, psych.
And they go, "Oh, you got me!" Vadim this entire time is like pulled up uncomfortably close, these arrows hitting inches away from his like nose that's just squished up against the door. And it is now that door's turn. The door sees that Vadim is grabbed and is going to go after Vadim, just trying to eat somebody. For Christ's sakes. That's a 22 on the die. Oh. No, not on the die. On the. You get what I'm saying.
And that hits because it has him grabbed.
So here comes damage as Vadim gets slammed once more. 13 points of damage. Ooh. And, you were already grabbed, so who cares? Another pseudopod comes out. That's a 12 to hit.
Luckily, that will miss.
And then...
A fumble card because you fumbled hard.
Head meet wall. I am stunned 1. So this creature is just scrambling, tendrils flying all over the place. It gets so excited about eating Vadim that it bashes into the corner of the wall that was supporting the door and knocks itself slightly unconscious. So it's going to be stunned, which is bad for me.
That's huge, yeah.
Good for us, though, right?
That's right.
2 sides of the same coin.
True. Fair enough. There's different ways to look at everything. At the end of its turn, it fades from being frightened 1, and it is now Mag's turn. Mag sees this creature holding onto Vadim, adhesive dripping all over him, but it is wavering back and forth like a prize fighter just on the verge of being knocked out. What will Mag do?
We're going to try another demoralize, and this time, rather than the sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Ineffective method of just kind of screaming, Mag will instead attempt to demoralize this thing by holding up her hand that's still stuck to it and then moving her head that's still stuck to it in another direction to kind of marionette the body of its fallen comrade.
Okay.
Oh, we love a corpse manipulation.
in a kind of taunting, macabre boogie.
I'll give you a +1 to the check because it ties directly into the story we're telling, of course.
Macabre boogie. I'm down for that.
I like it.
And she tries to do a kind of crude imitation of Mindy's voice.
A Macabre-a-rena, if you will.
It sounds very actually jazzy.
I'd like to quote the great Rob Zombie when I say, "I'm your boogie man." That's what I am.
Yeah. And she goes, It's me, Mindy. I'm gonna bite stuff.
Truly terrifying. Let's get that intimidation check.
I feel demoralized.
I do too.
I
don't like it.
Channeling her inner AO here. I guess not quite enough swearing. That's a 24.
25 with that bonus. That's a success, and this mimic once again becomes frightened one as it shouts back, "Mindy, no!"
And Mag will take that opportunity to make another strike with the Warhammer, still unattached as it was ineffective last turn. And that is a 25 to hit.
25 hits as the Warhammer bashes into the door.
Well, it's about to be a door hammer, am I
sure
right?
is.
And
Knock,
that
knock.
is
Who's here? Your doom.
13 damage.
Knock, knock, your doom indeed, as Mag bashes this thing entirely in half. Two halves of this tendrilled door collapse onto the ground, bludgeoned fully into not being around anymore. And it falls to the ground.
And as it does, Mag, with her free hand, at last rips the first one off of her forehead and hurls it down on top of its companion. So they form one sticky, gooey mound. It's like one undercooked pancake just landing right on another undercooked pancake. And she says, what did she say? She says, wait, hang on. I got something for this. That's why they call me Skull Crusher.
And we'll pick up from there next time.
Brava!
The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production, produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy. The Roots of Ruin uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's Community Use Policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way. Original characters and content are the property of Tabletop Gold. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. Email us at letters@tabletopgold.com and find all our social links at tabletopgold.com.